In today's business landscape, many small business owners struggle with getting referrals, customers, and traffic they initially think they'll be able to produce. Plus, big businesses just seem to be eating smaller businesses up. At Shireen Miles Professional Services, we specialize in helping small business owners just like you, especially in healthcare. We work with teams of sales and clinical professionals to help you see the value that you can bring to the table for more effective results. At SMPS, we'll take your story, help you to develop your target audience, and create a plan to make your dreams of business success a reality. While big business owners have large budgets, large teams, and larger marketing mindsets, you as a small business do not have to have small marketing ideas. We'll employ the same ideas that large companies use and tailor them to fit your small business needs. This plan will strategically position you for success by creating a specific space for yourself in the niche that you work best within. What's more, SMPS is a social purpose corporation. What that means is that we have a vested interest in promoting a positive impact on society. We do this by choosing to provide underserved women of all backgrounds with services that will assist in the alignment of their most valuable attributes to careers of their dreams. To learn more, visit www.shireenmiles.com today.
Hi, my name is Lynn O'Neill. I'm a trainer, and I hope that you will consider joining me for one of the classes I have scheduled in 2021. I offer the classes for individuals who are renewing their licenses. I also offer the classes for people who are getting their very first assisted living manager's license. It is our pledge to you that if you come and go through our training, when you leave, you will know, you will feel that this was a beneficial use of your time, that you're walking away with knowledge that will be helpful to you for the long term, but also for the day-to-day with the wonderful services that you provide the residents in your facilities. I hope I'll see you in class in 2021.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Taylor, CEO of Tailor Made Consulting Group, LLC. We are a business consulting firm specializing in helping businesses grow through digital marketing. Here at Tailor Made, we have a formula for your success, and we call it the PIE theory, P-I-E, just like a piece of pie. The P is for performance. We look at things like your business plan, marketing plan, and we find those gaps by measuring performance and analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We are Google Cloud partners and can manage your technology so that collaborating with employees, vendors, and/or customers is easier than ever. The I is for image. We make sure that your logo and branding is consistent and industry friendly. We provide those core services such as photography, videography, graphic design, web design, and high quality printing services. And finally, the E is for exposure. We are Google certified, and with our search engine optimization plan, we can make sure your business is on the first page of Google searches. Visit our website, tailormadeconsultinggroup.com, and get your free digital analysis today.
Skeptical of random investor calls and mailing, offering to buy your home sight unseen? Weary from guessing your home's value based on Zillow, Trulia, or your tax bill? Don't leave money on the table. Investors don't have your best interest in mind. Redwine Real Estate boasts over 30 years of experience developing customized strategies based upon each unique home and seller. Text today for a free consult. Any home, any condition. Know your options. Text to 469-420-0104 for your free consult.
Landscape, many small business owners struggle with getting referrals, customers, and traffic they initially think they'll be able to produce. Plus, big businesses just seem to be eating smaller businesses up. At Shireen Miles Professional Services, we specialize in helping small business owners just like you, especially in healthcare. We work with teams of sales and clinical professionals to help you see the value that you can bring to the table for more effective results. At SMPS, we'll take your story, help you to develop your target audience, and create a plan to make your dreams of business success a reality. While big business owners have large budgets, large teams, and larger marketing mindsets, you as a small business do not have to have small marketing ideas. We'll employ the same ideas that large companies use and tailor them to fit your small business needs. This plan will strategically position you for success by creating a specific space for yourself in the niche that you work best within. What's more, SMPS is a social purpose corporation. What that means is that we have a vested interest in promoting a positive impact on society. We do this by choosing to provide underserved women of all backgrounds with services that will assist in the alignment of their most valuable attributes to careers of their dreams. To learn more, visit www.shirainmiles.com today.
Hi, my name is Lynn O'Neill. I'm a trainer. And I hope that you will consider joining me for one of the classes I have scheduled in 2021. I offer the classes for individuals who are renewing their licenses. I also offer the classes for people who are getting their very first assisted living manager's license. It is our pledge to you that if you come and go through our training, when you leave, you will know, you will feel that this was a beneficial use of your time, that you're walking away with knowledge that will be helpful to you for the long term, but also for the day-to-day with the wonderful services that you provide the residents in your facilities. I hope I'll see you in class in 2021.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Taylor, CEO of Tailor Made Consulting Group, LLC. We are a business consulting firm specializing in helping businesses grow through digital marketing. Here at Tailor Made, we have a formula for your success, and we call it the PIE theory, P-I-E, just like a piece of pie. The P is for performance. We look at things like your business plan, marketing plan, and we find those gaps by measuring performance and analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We are Google Cloud partners and can manage your technology so that collaborating with employees, vendors, and/or customers is easier than ever. The I is for image. We make sure that your logo and branding is consistent and industry friendly. We provide those core services such as photography, videography, graphic design, web design, and high quality printing services. And finally, the E is for exposure. We are Google certified, and with our search engine optimization plan, we can make sure your business is on the first page of Google searches. Visit our website, tailormadeconsultinggroup.com, and get your free digital analysis today.
Skeptical of random investor calls and mailing, offering to buy your home sight unseen? Weary from guessing your home's value based on Zillow, Trulia, or your tax bill? Don't leave money on the table. Investors don't have your best interest in mind. Redwine Real Estate boasts over 30 years of experience developing customized strategies based upon each unique home and seller. Text today for a free consult. Any home, any condition. Know your options. Text to 469-420-0104 for your free consult.
In today's business landscape, many small business owners struggle with getting referrals, customers, and traffic they initially think they'll be able to produce. Plus, big businesses just seem to be eating smaller businesses up. At Shirain Miles Professional Services, we specialize in helping small business owners just like you, especially in healthcare. We work with teams of sales and clinical professionals to help you see the value that you can bring to the table for more effective results. At SMPS, we'll take your story, help you to develop your target audience, and create a plan to make your dreams of business success a reality. While big business owners have large budgets, large teams, and larger marketing mindsets, you as a small business do not have to have small marketing ideas. We'll employ the same ideas that large companies use and tailor them to fit your small business needs. This plan will strategically position you for success by creating a specific space for yourself in the niche that you work best within. What's more, SMPS is a social purpose corporation. What that means is that we have a vested interest in promoting a positive impact on society. We do this by choosing to provide underserved women of all backgrounds with services that will assist in the alignment of their most valuable attributes to careers of their dreams. To learn more, visit www.shireenmiles.com today.
Hi, my name is Lynn O'Neill. I'm a trainer, and I hope that you will consider joining me for one of the classes I have scheduled in 2021. I offer the classes for individuals who are renewing their licenses. I also offer the classes for people who are getting their very first assisted living manager's license. It is our pledge to you that if you come and go through our training, when you leave, you will know, you will feel that this was a beneficial use of your time, that you're walking away with knowledge that will be helpful to you for the long term, but also for the day-to-day with the wonderful services that you provide the residents in your facilities. I hope I'll see you in class in 2021.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Taylor, CEO of Tailor Made Consulting Group, LLC. We are a business consulting firm specializing in helping businesses grow through digital marketing. Here at Tailor Made, we have a formula for your success, and we call it the PIE theory. P-I-E, just like a piece of pie. The P is for performance. We look at things like your business plan, marketing plan, and we find those gaps by measuring performance and analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We are Google Cloud partners and can manage your technology so that collaborating with employees, vendors, and/or customers is easier than ever. The I is for image. We make sure that your logo and branding is consistent and industry friendly. We provide those core services such as photography, videography, graphic design, web design, and high quality printing services. And finally, the E is for exposure. We are Google certified, and with our search engine optimization plan, we can make sure your business is on the first page of Google searches. Visit our website, tailormadeconsultinggroup.com, and get your free digital analysis today.
Skeptical of random investor calls and mailing, offering to buy your home sight unseen? Weary from guessing your home's value based on Zillow, Trulia, or your tax bill? Don't leave money on the table. Investors don't have your best interest in mind. Redwine Real Estate boasts over 30 years of experience developing customized strategies based upon each unique home and seller. Text today for a free consult. Any home, any condition. Know your options. Text to 469-420-0104 for your free consult.
In today's business landscape, many small business owners struggle with getting referrals, customers, and traffic they initially think they'll be able to produce. Plus, big businesses just seem to be eating smaller businesses up. At Shireen Miles Professional Services, we specialize in helping small business owners just like you, especially in healthcare. We work with teams of sales and clinical professionals to help you see the value that you can bring to the table for more effective results. At SMPS, we'll take your story, help you to develop your target audience, and create a plan to make your dreams of business success a reality. While big business owners have large budgets, large teams, and larger marketing mindsets, you as a small business do not have to have small marketing ideas. We'll employ the same ideas that large companies use and tailor them to fit your small business needs. This plan will strategically position you for success by creating a specific space for yourself in the niche that you work best within. What's more, SMPS is a social purpose corporation. What that means is that we have a vested interest in promoting a positive impact on society. We do this by choosing to provide underserved women of all backgrounds with services that will assist in the alignment of their most valuable attributes to careers of their dreams. To learn more, visit www.shireenmiles.com today.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Taylor, CEO of Tailor Made Consulting Group, LLC. We are a business consulting firm specializing in helping businesses grow through digital marketing. Here at Tailor Made, we have a formula for your success, and we call it the PIE theory. P-I-E, just like a piece of pie. The P is for performance. We look at things like your business plan, marketing plan, and we find those gaps by measuring performance and analyzing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We are Google Cloud partners and can manage your technology so that collaborating with employees, vendors, and/or customers is easier than ever. The I is for image. We make sure that your logo and branding is consistent and industry friendly. We provide those core services such as photography, videography, graphic design, web design, and high quality printing services. And finally, the E is for exposure. We are Google certified, and with our search engine optimization plan, we can make sure your business is on the first page of Google searches. Visit our website, tailormadeconsultinggroup.com, and get your free digital analysis today.
Skeptical of random investor calls and mailing, offering to buy your home sight unseen? Weary from guessing your home's value based on Zillow, Trulia, or your tax bill? Don't leave money on the table. Investors don't have your best interest in mind. Redwine Real Estate boasts over 30 years of experience developing customized strategies based upon each unique home and seller. Text today for a free consult. Any home, any condition. Know your options. Text to 469-420-0104 for your free consult.
My name is Ashley Austin Hill. I am the principal compliance consultant for Real Organized Advocacy. Real Organized Advocacy serves residential care home providers and small businesses who are in the business of serving the most marginalized populations here in Texas. We assist individuals who are opening assisted living facilities or whom are already in operation of assisted living facilities, whether that be with new applications, corrective action plans, provider planning, facility startup and development, and also policies and procedures. We offer clients services through retainer or as needed, and we assist people who want to serve the community but aren't sure where to start, and who want to be in this industry but aren't sure of how to get going. So our goal is to educate, to provide training, and to provide the resources needed to see providers succeed. So today, we are presenting how to prepare an assisted living facility for licensing and operation. One of the things that I saw when I was a surveyor was the lack of education that new providers receive in order to help them navigate the many moving parts of opening an assisted living facility. It can be very daunting or even very discouraging when you look at the laundry list of things that are required in order to open a facility. So I said, okay, when I left the state, I said, I want to do something where I can take my organizational skills and also the things that I've learned as a surveyor and just being in the human services field for 15 years and apply it to where it doesn't just necessarily help smooth things along, but where the culture is crafted in doing things in a compliant way, but also in a way that best serves the interests of the people that are getting the services in these provider facilities. So today we just want to talk about some things that people need to know to move forward in order to open up their facilities for people who want to be educated on how to open a facility. And we want to allow you to see things from a different perspective. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be daunting. It can be done in a way that's much smoother, much easier, with less anxiety, and with the ability to move forward, having but also being confident. So we're going to present today different presenters. We have Robert Robertson with New Age Security. He will be talking about fire alarm systems as well as fire sprinkler systems. We have Emily Grooms and Joyanne Garrett, who will be talking about emergency planning as well as planning for your facility in general. We have Shireen Miles, who will be offering healthcare marketing solutions and tactics that could help you in opening your facility. We also will have Pat Nixon, who is an RN that offers delegation services, and she will speak from the perspective of offering care in your assisted living facility. And I will be talking about how to prepare your facility for licensing. We're going to talk about some of the things that I discovered as I was preparing the handbook that I give to my clients. This particular handbook is also for sale for any new providers or anyone interested in becoming a provider. But in my handbook, I broke down the steps from beginning to end on what one needed to do in order to become licensed by the state of Texas as an assisted living facility. So I'm going to take some of those tenets out, break those things down for you, and help you in the process. Let's talk about preparing an assisted living facility for licensing and what that really means. One of the things that we have to consider in the process of even thinking about opening a facility is, where do I start? Who governs assisted living facilities? What type of business entity do I need to have in place? Are there zoning laws or local or county governances that I have to follow? And then what type of assisted living facilities are out there, specifically in Texas? Those are questions that I help my clients get through, and questions that I ask people who want to come into this industry, because you need to understand what your requirements are and what things are in place to either help you succeed or to bar you from success. Okay. We talk about how to prepare. So, how do I secure a facility, and what regulations do I need to follow? And then what type of preparations do I need to have for residents? And then there are questions like, what guidance and supports are available? So what type of information is already readily available for individuals who want to open up facilities? Okay, so we're going to get into how we go about developing this information and how we go about getting this information. So first, we need to do our research. We need to understand the business entity that we want to have, whether it be a sole proprietorship or a LLC or a for-profit incorporation that's also an S corp. It depends on what your business type is, and it depends on what you want the business to do. So we need to think about that first, and also doing research on the long-term care industry. So one of the things that I always point people to is the Health and Human Services website. The Health and Human Services website gives tons of information on the different services that are available to individuals here in Texas, as well as to providers, and what type of services providers can offer and the regulation thereof. So as we are talking about preparing an assisted living facility for licensing, we are going to rely heavily on the information that we receive from Health and Human Services, because they are the governing body of this particular type of facility. So we will refer back to them quite often. And within my handbook are references to the TAC code and specific tenants responding to the facility itself. So we'll talk about that as we're going along. I want to make sure to preface, we're going to focus on 3 areas: research, development, and implementation. Under research, which we briefly started talking about, we were discussing understanding where information comes from and who the regulatory agencies are, also what type of business entity we want to be. So all of that information can be found by simply researching online, utilizing Google, asking people in the industry or those people around you have started a successful business. What type of business entities are available to us? One of the places you can go is to the Secretary of State's website. The Secretary of State's website gives plenty of information about business entities. The next thing you want to do is develop your business plan. And your business plan is going to be based on what type of business entity you have, of course, and also what goals you plan on reaching as a business. So as we're doing our research, we also want to go ahead and utilize the Texas Administrative Code. That is the legal statutes that have been put in place by the state of Texas that the governing body of Health and Human Services must follow in order to offer assisted living facility licenses to providers, and that the providers must follow in order to be licensed. So we want to pay close attention to the Texas Administrative Code. The TAC code, in short, is something that you should be utilizing to understand your facility requirements and your compliance requirements, okay? Everything from policy and procedure creation to emergency preparedness, facility construction, what type of windows, how far the window should be from the ground is all in that TAC code. And when you're getting prepared for life safety, you need to know those things so that you can pass life safety in order to get to the health portion of the process. And so as we're talking about that, let's talk about what that means. So as you are going through the process of your research, you also need to look into what is Health and Human Services process for starting a facility. Well, you have to have your facility in place and it already has to have sprinkler systems, or they may say it needs to be sprinkled, meaning the sprinkler system needs to be installed and the alarm system needs to be installed. And you'll also need to meet other regulations that have been put in place for that type of facility. Well, as you were getting ready to do those things, you are going to have to apply through their systems, the TULIP system, and do your application that way, where all of the things that you've previously done, such as get your sprinkler system, your alarm system, leveling any areas that are uneven, adding ramps, adding screens to windows, ensuring doors are the proper width. All of those things will come prior to you applying for the facility application, okay? So that's another part of the research, okay? So as you're researching and you're getting ready to move towards your application, you want to make sure that you understand your local laws and compliance, okay? Before you buy the home, you want to know where that home is located. If your facility has a zoning ordinance that prevents one facility from being a certain amount of feet or miles from another facility, because there are some cities within Texas or counties that do not allow facilities to be within a certain amount of feet of each other. You also want to understand the TFER, okay? So the TFER is not necessarily for small facilities. However, there's some guidance in there about health and maintaining cleanliness and also developing a proper infection control system within your kitchen. That is very important. It is not something the state requires for small facilities, but it is something that I recommend to new clients so they can understand how infection control and maintaining a kitchen and developing a kitchen can also help their facility in the long run. So the next step would be obviously doing your application. This is once you've had your facility prepared with a sprinkler system and an alarm system, and you've prepared the home with the right lighting, the right ADA, which is Americans with Disabilities Act compliance, whether it be ramps or bars in the restroom or rails where there are steps. Those type of things will need to be done prior to life safety coming out, okay? So all of this information should be found out in your research process, so you're not scrambling after your application is submitted, okay? So once you're getting ready to do your application, you are going to sign up for a TULIP account. And TULIP is the Texas Unified Licensure Information Portal. And that is where all of assisted living facility applications are submitted, and some other residential type applications are submitted as well. Okay, that particular licensing system, it allows you to upload all of the necessary documentation when you are getting ready to apply for a license. Okay, so let's talk about applying for a license. When you're applying for a license, you want to make sure that you have certain documents and you are prepared for life safety to come, but also you need to upload those documents in your application, okay? So once your facility has been sprinkled and you have your alarm system, you want to ensure that you have a monitoring contract with your alarm company and sprinkler company where they're coming out every 6 months. You want to make sure that you have a contract for your fire extinguishers to be monitored and replaced. I believe it's every 1 to 2 years, or depending on the expiration date of that extinguisher. You want to ensure that you had a gas pressure test if you have a home that has gas in it. You would want to ensure that you have all of your formation documents for your business entity. That means that you would have some type of form, typically a CP 575 from the IRS, that is acknowledging your business entity. And then you would also have those formation documents to go along with them, whether they be bylaws or the certificate of filing, a DBA, all of that information. If you're leasing from someone, you would need to have a lease available that says that you can use that property for an assisted living facility, okay? And then any ownership hierarchies or the number of members that are a part of your business entity will also need to be known, okay? There will be an application fee of a base rate of $200 plus, I believe it's $15 per bed. And so typical application fees range between $375 and about $500 for small types if you're not going over a certain amount, 16 to be exact. So you need to expect to have a budget immediately when you're getting ready to apply. You also want to have certain documentation available to you, such as the cut sheets from the development of the alarm system and any other documentation that has come along with the installation thereof. You will want to have your fire marshal's approval that will be uploaded to TULIP, and you will want to ensure that all of the health approvals have been sent off. So there's a health letter that is required that you must send to the local health department that says what your intentions are for that facility. But then if your facility is zoned as a commercial type, you may also have to go through the health department for approval. So there are certain things that you need to know. So let's talk about the next step, which is development. Development means that you are looking at overall your responsibility in the role as an assisted living facility. So you want to do a SWOT analysis, that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you want to see what areas you have strength in, what areas you need assistance, what opportunities you have to meet the needs of the clients, what opportunities you have to meet the needs of all of your shareholders. And your shareholders is anybody that's affected by your business being open, whether it be residents, family members, third-party agencies, anyone providing assistance care to the people that are in your home, okay? And you want to look at the threats. Okay, that may be your budget. It may be how long it's going to take for growth, what changes are happening in the industry, and those are things that you need to do to develop yourself as an organization. And as you are developing this organization, everything may not come at the same time. It takes time to understand this industry, and it takes time to develop this business the way it needs to be developed. So definitely take your time, think about what your mission is, what's your vision, and what your goals are for this particular organization, so that you can develop your culture prior to even starting the facility. As you are developing your home, you may flip back and forth between development and research. You may go into development feeling you've done all the research you need, and you realize, wait, I need to go back. There's some things I need to understand, and that's okay. So the third thing that we're going to talk about is implementation. So implementation is strictly doing, taking the concept to reality. So one of the things that we need to focus on is the sprinkler system. Major deal. And so sprinkler systems are based on the type of facility or the type of home or dwelling that you're in. So if it's a small facility versus a large facility, if it's a residential type versus a commercial type. And so those things are broken down by the agency that installs that sprinkler system for you. We also have to focus on fire safety, and fire safety is everything from smoking area rules to, is there buildup of dust and lint and dirt in the internal systems like the heating and the water heater. Also, are you managing your fire drills? All of those things come into play into fire safety. Okay, so your physical plant, let's talk about that. The physical plant is the actual building and what's in the building. Okay, so those things are important to look at. Is your flooring even? Do you have railing for more than 2 steps or 3 steps rather? Do you have ramps? Okay. So all of those things are very important to pay attention to. Is your laundry separated? Are there vents in the bathroom? Did the fire alarm company or sprinkler company install heat detectors in the appropriate places? Is your sprinkler head in the right place? Is it too close to an obstruction? Is it gonna work properly? Those little details matter, and those are things that you must consider as you are developing your physical plant. Okay, lighting is also a big issue. So there are certain lighting requirements that the state has, where in work areas such as kitchens and medicine stations, you have to have 50-foot candles. Well, how do you know what 50-foot candles are compared to watts? Well, they have this little device called a light meter that you can buy that tells you how much foot candles you're putting out in each area of the facility that can help you get to where you need to be in compliance. So it's those tiny nuances that a lot of people don't know that I help spell out for clients, and that clients need to understand from the compliance perspective, because those little nuances, although they can be annoying in some respect, they make the difference in client care. They make the difference in how well clients can be cared for. We talk about policies and procedures. Policies and procedures, you really want to focus on the major tenets that the TAC rule presents. So, for instance, TAC presents a rule for what type of abuse and neglect protocol and policy you should have in place. Okay, so you have to report the incident to Health and Human Services. You have to give the client the consumer rights hotline number. You have to notify local authorities. There's a process when it comes to abuse, neglect, and exploitation. There's also a process in the TAC code for accident, incident, and injury, how that policy should be put together. Same thing for activities and social services. You must offer activities to residents at least once per week. And then with admission policies, there are certain admission policies that you have to follow through the TAC code, as well as using the disclosure statement that Health and Human Services has developed for assisted living facilities. Staffing is very important. Facility staffing matters greatly. Okay, you need to have a good staffing ratio depending on the type of client care you have, and that is also depending on whether you're in a type A or a type B facility. So a type A facility has residents that can evacuate on their own and can follow directions and are able to do some things for themselves and don't need any cognitive or physical assistance egressing from a facility. A type B facility has residents who need cognitive and or physical assistance egressing from a facility. Okay, so those things are going to matter in the type of staffing that you hire. Thinking about their background, whether or not they have background in the long-term care industry, whether it be a type A or a type B being a memory care type of facility as well, you would want to have a staff person who has that education to support the residents who are there, right? Especially managers. We definitely have to look at the differences that exist in the type A versus the type B facilities in terms of what must happen. So in the type A, you would have available staff. In the type B, you must have awake staff. So staff have to always be there no matter what type of facility, but in a type A, you technically can have a sleep staff as long as they're readily available in the facility, okay? So little things like that and understanding food service. If anybody's preparing meals, they should have a handler's license. And then as we're going along and talking about the residents, talking about person first planning, utilizing care planning, as well as having a service plan in place in the facility and developing the comprehensive health assessment as residents are coming in. That also includes the admissions process and how intake happens and what type of intake documentation you have, what type of intake processes you prepare for residents as they're coming in so that it makes the process smoother for you and them. One of the things that I focus on with clients is also advanced directives. Either do not disturb, medical power of attorney, durable power of attorney, what information we need to have in order to take care of your wishes. All of those things need to be talked about. One of the other things that the manual or my handbook focuses on, as well as the conversations that I have with my clients, is how do I find all of this stuff? So just offering resources to clients, giving them links to information, all of that's available as well. ROA is offering everyone in the webinar the emergency preparedness plan and policy for $50. It's typically $75. We're also offering our policy and procedure set for $1,000, and it's typically $1,250. And then we are offering the facility startup and development package, which is typically $37.50 for $22.50 minus the policies and procedures. So we look forward to working with you. We hope that the rest of the presenters are extremely helpful to you because they have been helpful to me, even as a consultant. I've relied on these individuals to help me gain knowledge as well as support my clients in the best way possible. So I look forward to what they have to offer. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Real Organized Advocacy at info@roaconsulting.services or 214-463-3124, and that information will also be included in the webinar resources. Thank you and have a great day.
My name is Emily R. Grooms, and I'm a gerontologist with MC Consulting. Up until last year, for almost 15 years, with my business partner, we actually were in the residential care business. We took care of people who had complex dementia, so we know of what we speak. What we want to do is to help you, whether you're what we call a newbie, a startup, or even if you've been a longtime provider, learn by us teaching you how to implement what you need to do to fulfill the mandated requirements or regulations that the state puts out so that you can put these into your everyday practices. One of the things that's very important right now is everyone has to have an emergency manual, and it's called the Emergency Preparedness and Planning Manual. The state, in the beginning of the year, of last year actually, a checklist that said you will follow these rules and you will make this manual. It's not like in the past. Many of the surveyors would come into your facility if you were a longtime provider, and those of you who are new will have probably heard these. And they would ask you if you knew how to use a fire extinguisher and how to call 911. Well, that no longer works. We've had too many disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, and now, of course, pandemic, so that we have to, in fact, take and create this manual and be able to put it into practice. And that's what we would like to be able to help you do. Key to this is training. Training is key to success for your venture, whether it's new or long-term. And so the point that you must do is make sure that you understand and, in fact, implement that manual. The state has required you as a provider to train your staff, your caregivers, and yourself on 8 core functions. And that is what you have to do. I'm going to quickly go through that because it would take hours to be able to really make you understand what you have to do. But you must do this. You must train your staff yourself to be able to save people's lives. I use an example. Stewards, stewardess, they're not there to give people food or drink. They're there to save lives. And this is the same thing that you have to do and your staff has to do. First of the 8 cores, direction and control. Who's in charge? You may think it's you because you're the owner or the manager or whatever, but you may not be able to be there. And the state says you will have what is called an EPC, an emergency preparedness coordinator, and an alternate on every shift, every holiday, every weekend. So take that into consideration. So you'll have to train a lot of people to be able to do that job. And then whomever is in charge when there is a disaster or an emergency, that person implements the plan where the staff has already been trained on their roles and responsibilities. Number 2 is warning. You have to be able to warn. Number 3, communication. Number 4, shelter, in place or evacuate. Number 5 is transportation. Number 6 is medication and services. Number 7, reserve of your stuff. In other words, your management of your resources. So take into mind, you have to be able to do this. Your amygdala jumps in when you have an emergency and you won't know what to do. It's only when you do training and testing that your brain does the same thing as your body can do, and it has muscle memory. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to my business partner, Joyanne Garrett. Go to our website, mcconsulting.online.
My name is Joyanne Garrett. I'm with Memory Care Consulting. We're pleased to join in this effort to meet with new people who hope to be licensees for the State Department of Health and Social Services. And we want to bring you some information about disaster-related issues because that's the new hot dog coming from the agency. And make no mistake, it is an agency. That's Texas Super Agency. They tell the doctors, the nurses, the hospitals, the hospital administrators, by and large, what to do. So they don't hesitate to tell us the same, give us the same directives. You know about services and care. That's why you're drawn to this aspect of the healthcare industry. But what you don't know is the rigorous load of administrative detail, administrative burden, and administrative horizon that you're going to be dealing with every day, every hour, and a lot of minutes. You're prepared for one aspect, the health and care, but you're probably not prepared for the administrative side. And that's one of the places where we come in. I want to talk to you briefly about the administrative or operational side that goes with disaster planning. The first thing that you're going to encounter is the necessity to create a risk assessment. That is necessary because Texas is a big state. We have a lot of climate zones. We have a lot of expectancies in terms of severe weather, things that can happen, and they're happening more often now. There are 10 times more tornadoes now than there were 10, 12 years ago. Something's going on, and we have to respond. The agency has provided great direction on developing disaster planning. So you've done your risk assessment. The next thing you need to look toward, besides training, which Emily explained to you earlier, is dealing with mandatory notifications and forms. There are about half a dozen things where somebody is going to have to be notified on a regular and documented basis. And one of the keys here is documentation. These plans set up your salvation in terms of being able to document and verify that you've taken the necessary actions. If you don't do that, then the liabilities that can come, the litigation that's possible, the next issue in terms of dealing with disasters is something that's very close to us right now, every day, and sometimes almost every hour, COVID-19. That's an aspect of the responsibility where you're drawing up and working with plans pretty much daily. And it's a struggle because you don't have time to give care and services, train, and do that documentation. That's a critical issue in your whole role as a licensee, services and care versus documentation and operational detail. It's very hard to carry both. If you look into those areas and responsibilities where COVID is concerned, hopefully you're scrambling and you're doing the necessary work to create the documentation that's necessary to provide training and support for the staff, and also to assist families with understanding current needs, responsibilities, roles, and requirements. At the same time that you're creating that plan and you're dealing in the near term with what's necessary today and this week, the short term and the long term are still there, because this plan can be your protection should there be the possibility of litigation next year or the year after that that's COVID related. That plan can be your salvation because it's going to assure that you not only did what you said you did, but it's going to prove, it's going to give documentation that you said you did what you did. And that's one of the things that our licensing agency looks for, not only to do the right thing, but to have different levels of verification that you have done the right thing. So when COVID comes to the house, you're going to look to your COVID plan for your daily steps. When the subpoena comes to the house, and that's a possibility a year or two out, because someone may have a grievance about some issues of care, or they may find a place where they can meet their needs instead of the needs of your organization. These plans, the disaster plan and the COVID plan, both provide a measure of safety and security, because if established, if trained, if documented, they're going to provide the coverage that you, your staff, your families, your residents, your whole organization needs to be able to ride out this COVID storm, as well as the sudden and unexpected storms that can occur through the daily chaos, the daily struggles, and the daily delights, because great things happen every day, of being an assisted living licensee. We'd like to welcome you. It's a great, wonderful crowd of people. You're going to find great help, a lot of closet thinkers who are brilliant, a lot of people who will support and help you meet your needs. They may be right down the street from you, but they're your colleagues. Don't worry about competition. That's not a factor. Worry about working through this together so that you all can do a better job for the elders in our neighborhoods, in the places where we dwell, and the places where we love our neighbors. Thanks again. We appreciate having an opportunity to talk to you today.
Hi, I'm Shireen Miles. I'm the Principal Consultant and CEO for Shireen Miles Professional Services Social Purpose Corporation. Today, I am so happy to be here with you to talk to you about something that I know so many small business owners struggle with, and it's just the simple marketing. Marketing 101, sales, selling your business. A lot of small business owners truly believe in their hearts that it is necessary to find a sales and marketing professional because they are people that can do the sales and marketing for their organization better than themselves, than the owners. Today, I am here to just eliminate that myth from your mind. I want to tell you that you have what it is that you need to be the most effective marketing and salesperson for your business. Not all of you are going to believe me, but I'm going to give you 4 keys to unlocking your inner marketing genius. Okay, let's do this. One of the things that I know that nobody else knows about you and your business. And if they do know it, they don't know it as well as you do. It's what's your story. That's the first key. Know your story. You are the only one, the best qualified person to tell what it is that drove you to do what it is that you do every day, right? You are the person who had the idea. You are the person who ran with the idea and who jumped with a leap of faith into this industry to deliver something that you did not feel was there. That story, that is what I want you to always remember when you are talking about your business. Whatever it is, the favorite part of my job is to learn what those stories were for people. What is it that was the deciding factor for you that led you to believe that this is what it is that you were destined to do? This was your purpose. This is why you were designed. Those things, those are the stories that businesses are built on. Those are the things, those are the key components to being able to best sell your business. So the number one key is know your story. Remember your story. Talk about your story often. That's your first key. And that's easy, right? We all know what our stories are. So keep in mind, that is something that nobody can tell better than you. The second thing, what is it that you do best? What has been the thing that upon developing your business, opening your doors, servicing your clients, providing your product, what is it that you have found within this, unlocking your specific expertise that you know that you do better than the person down the street? The other person who, on a competitive analysis, may look just like you, but they're not because they don't do this. Fill in the blank there. There are going to be a lot of different things that you could plug in, but there's one thing that maybe a client has complimented you on, something, maybe you have a caregiver who does something very well that nobody else does. Maybe there is an amenity or a service that you offer that you provide within your company that is not consistent throughout. Maybe it's not something that everybody has thought about. For example, if you grow fresh fruit and vegetables to prepare food for your residents, is that something that everybody does? Not so much. Most people would have the same truck that goes to each one of the residential care homes or community or assisted living communities, and they would just go to every one of those care homes. Do they skip yours because you grow your own fruits and vegetables to prepare your food? Something to think about. That is one of the things that you do better than anybody else. That's what you do best. So number one, your key, knowing your story. Number two, what have you added? What are the seasonings or spices that you've added to your story that make you better than the other people in your industry that provide the same service? The third thing I want you to do, let's align what you do best to your story. Align number one and two, and let's talk about it. This is the piece that I think that a lot of small business owners miss, because you're not recognizing that the two pieces that only you know what you do best and your story. When you start telling people about it, that's marketing. That is selling your business. It's actually selling your best self because you're selling what you do best. And yes, you can hire a marketing person who could come in and find out what those things are, or you could just do it yourself, which would save you some money here and there. You wouldn't have to pay a salary. However, sometimes when you have someone come in and identify that for you on a quarterly basis or so, that's something that you could invest in that would still be less expensive than hiring your own marketing person, right? One of the things I want you to stop and think about is when you align your story with what you do best, you have to tell people about it. You have to tell people about that on a regular basis. So what that means is when you are talking to people from your church, when you're talking to people in your neighborhood, at the grocery store, when you're talking to the Chamber of Commerce, when you're doing your own your sales pitch, your 30-second commercial, talk about the things that you do best. Don't mirror what everybody else is doing. That's easy. When you add the extra seasonings and the spices that you sprinkle in your business within this industry that makes you different, that's what you want to hone in on. That's what you want to target. You want to share that with your network, share that with your vendors, share that with anybody who will listen. That is your marketing component. And the last piece, number 4, that's knowing who your people are. So when you talk about the things that you do well, who are you doing those things for? Who receives that care or that service, your best service, better than anybody else? Do you have a specific care type that you gravitate towards? Do you have a heart for people who have Alzheimer's or dementia? Do you better take care of people who are diabetic because you could manage their diets better? What does that look like within your corporation or within your company? So find what those are your people. Those are the people that you need to reach out to. That's your target audience. So the 4 steps: knowing your story, remembering your story, identifying what it is that you do best within your organization. The third part, marrying those two, marrying what you do best to your story and telling people about it. That's your networking. That's your third step. And fourth is finding that target audience. Who are those people? Where did they come from? If you have several people within your organization who look the same, they have the same types of conditions or issues or challenges, if that's who you take care of, find out where each one of those people came. Find out what it is. Where did I find Mrs. Smith? How did Mr. Jones find me? Go back to those areas. That's low-hanging fruit. I want to continue the conversation with you. So what I want you to do, reach out to me, Shireen Miles at Shireen Miles Professional Services, and let's talk about your niche, your target market, what you do best, and your story. I'm Shireen Miles, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you for your time.
Hello, and thank you for joining. My name is Pat Nixon. I am the lead nurse consultant for iNurse Delegate. iNurse Delegate offers clinical training, delegation, and oversight to care workers in long-term communities, facilitating safe and effective care for residents with complex care needs. As you move forward in your assisted living journey, you'll come across many clinical challenges, questions, and state regulations that, although not spoken, require the assistance of a dedicated and experienced registered nurse. Scientific developments in the treatment of disease processes has led to older adults living longer, more fulfilled lives, but also presenting with more complex care needs. Functional and mental disabilities leave these adults requiring assistance with tasks related to stable and predictable medical conditions. Through nurse delegation, older adults are able to avoid nursing homes. They're able to remain in home, residential, and community environments longer. Nurse delegation allows for unlicensed assistive personnel to complete tasks that would otherwise require costly full-time nursing staff. Through iNurse Delegate, senior communities can now contract with registered nurses without the financial burden of salary, expensive training, or costly errors. All this is done through our delegation systems. Communities with proper delegation systems in place lead in referrals by appealing to referral agencies who face constant challenges with placing older adults with care needs such as insulin administration, Foley catheter care, or even G-tube feedings. Our nurse delegators will not only train your staff in medication administration and even the more complex tasks, but we perform regular on-site supervision to ensure that you're providing safe care and protect your community. In addition to clinical tasks, nurse delegators perform ongoing assessments, progressive trainings and evaluations of staff, clinical policy and procedures review, as well as regular updates regarding regulations related to clinical subjects. So what is iNurse Delegate? Who are we? Well, we're a nurse delegation firm. We were established in Dallas, Texas, and now serve the North Texas region, historically referred to as Region 3. This includes counties such as Collin County, Denton County, Kaufman County, Tarrant County, and Grayson County. We were formed to offer training and support to traditional non-medical service providers, allowing them to remain non-medical, but also care for individuals that have complex care needs. We serve a variety of residential care providers, including assisted living communities, home and community-based service providers, and personal care service providers. We serve you through training, delegation, nurse management, and consulting. iNurse Delegate's core values are to promote advocacy by empowering providers with tools that allow them to care for individuals with complex needs, allowing these individuals to thrive in residential settings longer. We also aim to create organized systems which build clinical performance, compliance, and efficacy into the provider's culture. We implement systems that support efficient operations among care providers by offering training, support, and delegation from our team of specially trained nurse consultants. Our mission is to support residential and community-based providers in the care of older adults, allowing more individuals to remain in these environments longer. We seek to aid in the development of consistent policies and procedures and cohesive, well-trained caregivers to ensure care that is safe and effective. iNurse Delegate provides a cohesive team of over 23 years of combined experience. We serve in clinical compliance and training. Our system is based on innovative and evidence-based practices pertaining to the delegation of nursing tasks. Our licensed professionals provide inclusive packages that ensure compliance to state regulations, as well as your individual community's policies and procedures. Many residential care providers are governed by not only local regulations and codes, but also by the state and some federal regulations. iNurse Delegate utilizes resources provided by Texas Board of Nursing, Texas Health and Human Services, Texas Administrative Code, the Code of Federal Regulations, National Fire Protection Agency, and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. We also use research and empirical data offered through the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, American Nurses Association, the Area Agency on Aging, Senior Source, and other local mental, physical, and intellectual disability authorities. Our team offers a variety of credentials, including registered nurses, certified assisted living managers, certified dementia practitioners, certified memory care specialists, certified assisted living managers, long-term care state investigators, medical assistants, and other licensed and well-trained personnel. iNurse Delegate serves its clients with professional, transformative, empirical, and person-centered methods. We offer specialized interactions and procedures for each of our communities. This is facilitated through active and ongoing research, training, network, binding industry relationships, and facilitating industry activities to expand knowledge and resources. Your iNurse Delegate consultant will perform thorough reviews of your community's policies and procedures, your leadership, your supervisory team, staffed caregivers, resident profiles, as well as your residents' physical presentations. Your consultant will also facilitate collaboration with your client's responsible adult. We work together with service providers such as home health and hospice to provide a continuum in care with the best care coordination, ultimately leading to preferred outcomes for your residents. Clients must be seriously invested in implementing necessary recommendations pertaining to the consistency in policies and procedures, hiring and developing a team of leadership and caregivers that are above industry standards. We look for communities that have staff members that are able to not only absorb our teachings, but able to apply knowledge and skills in a safe and effective manner. We look forward to working with your team, training you on how to submit reports and maintain accurate records as the state requires. We work with you to meet your compliancy needs when it comes to direct care staff. As a new assisted living community, you're going to run across many regulations. Requirements include training, documentation, client assessment, and reviews. Our nurse delegation team will work closely to make sure you have exactly what it is you need when it comes to clinical compliance. Our services include training, delegation, nurse management consulting, as well as infection control management. It is our privilege to work with care providers who are vested in the senior community and willing to service older adults who would otherwise be unable to remain in community settings. We would love to provide an on-site consultation to see if you and your staff are ready to experience growth. Lake Point Assisted Living is my best and favorite example. Dan reports an exponential growth from just 4 residents prior to delegation to a full capacity of 16 residents. Dan says that he's now the go-to person for referral sources, such as a Place for Mom and senior source placement agencies. These placement agencies look for the quickest and most logical solution for their patients. Their goal is to get their patients moved out of their nursing facility into a staffed and skilled community that will serve them best. That's where we come in. Our staff will ensure that you are the yes in placement and never have to say no to a resident just because they have complex care needs. Maria is an LVN that works under the supervision of iNurse Delegate. Maria says, as an LVN, I feel more secure having Pat as an extra set of eyes. She stays up to date and informed with all of the changes in regulations and makes sure that we remain compliant. I like to call Pat our nursing angel. Now, I don't know if I would go that far, but what I will say is that as your lead nurse consultant, I work closely with my team to make sure that we will work hand in hand with your team to walk you through the regulations as it pertains to resident assessments, documentation, training, and annual compliance. We make sure that you are survey ready at all times. We work with your staff to ensure that you're not only providing complex care, but you're providing care that is evidence-based and safe. We would like to join our team with your team in order to position you for growth. You can log on to our website at www.inursedelegate.com to schedule your free on-site consultation. During this consultation, one of our nurse consultants will discuss and review exactly where you are in developing or expanding your assisted living community, We'll talk about what we require and what your needs are. Together, we will determine how we can best serve your assisted living community. I look forward to working with you. Praise, grace, and blessings as you continue your journey. I thank you for tuning in. All the success.
Hi, I am Jasmine Graham, social work consultant of the Sanctuary Resource Network. Thank you for participating in this webinar hosted by Real Organized Advocacy. We are glad that you've been able to gain valuable resources from the presenters. Please check your emails immediately following the webinar as handouts and information will be provided. As a reminder, the Provider Planning, Preparing an Assisted Living Facility for Licensing in Texas Handbook will be on sale for 24 hours following the webinar at the webinar price of $199 from the original price of $395. You can find that handbook online at bit.ly/ROA Web1. The handbook has resources, references, and research that will prepare any potential facility owner for licensure in the state of Texas. Again, you can find the handbook at bit.ly/ROA Web1. Stay engaged with Real Organized Advocacy via the website at www.roaconsulting.services or through Instagram or Facebook at Real Organized Advocacy. For information on upcoming webinars and programs, we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for your participation. And again, please stay engaged and keep in touch. Have a great weekend.